Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Narayana Montufar. I am an astrologer, artist, and author who finds inspiration in the symbolic language of astrology. I wrote a book about the moon, so if you're interested about learning astrology, I suggest you start with the moon because the moon is the mother of astrology. And I am quoting Stephen Forrest, one of my favorite astrologers. I offer readings, Akashic readings, astrology readings, and tarot readings, and I also paint birth charts. So if you feel called to it, I invite you to book a reading with me, to share my work with your friends, or to subscribe to my newsletter or to my YouTube channel. I recently changed my process for creating these videos. I hope you like them. These ones are a little bit more impromptu, but they can be more fun because I'm trying to create more content for you to guide you. So today I'm here to talk about Sagittarius season 2024. This is one of the most transformative solar seasons of the entire year. And you will hear why. There are a few reasons why, but I invite you to always take these transits in the most positive way. My style is inspirational, but it's also realistic because at the end of the day, we need to hear how certain transits are harder than others, but harder doesn't mean impossible or bad. I am going to be looking at my notes here, and I'm going to go over the most important transits, pretty much all of the most important ones actually, over the course of 4 weeks that the sun is going to be in Sagittarius. So I'm going to be looking out for a minute just to remind myself what I'm going to be talking about. But I'm also going to be stopping a little bit to talk about what each aspect means. And sometimes I'm going to be telling you, oh, if you are a Gemini or if you're a Pisces, or these are the zodiac signs that are going to be mostly affected by each one of them. So here we go. So Sagittarius season spans from November 21st to December 19th. And the reason why it is one of the most important seasons, it's because we're going to have a total of 2 natal planets. Natal planets are the ones that are closest to Earth, overlapping the retrogrades. And we're talking about the retrograde of Mercury, the third one in 2024, and we're talking about the retrograde of Mars, which is the most rare retrograde of all. So Sagittarius season is going to be very transformative, kind of like a continuation of Scorpio season, but it's going to be transformative in a different way. So expect the universe to ask you to shift, transform. And the great news is that Sagittarius is a mutable sign. It's a fire sign. You know, Sagittarians are full of life. And it's a very celebratory time. That's why a lot of us are celebrating New Year. Some people celebrate Christmas. I personally don't. But it's a fire sign. It carries a celebratory vibe, but it's a mutable sign. That's its modality, which means that it can shift. It's a fire that shifts, that it's malleable. And that is going to help you a lot regardless of your sign this season. It's going to help you adapt. That's what it is. Sagittarius brings the fire that is adaptable. And it is one of the most important advices that I can give you this season. Like I said before, Sagittarius season begins on November 21st and ends on December 19th, basically. The first aspect that we're going to experience is Venus, which is currently in Capricorn when the sun enters Sagittarius, forming a sextile with Saturn in Pisces on November 22nd. I love this aspect for anything that is career related, anything that is profession, strategy, pushing, bringing to your boss an idea, a strategy, or if you own your own business, to create that strategy. Venus in Capricorn means business. And as it harmonizes with Saturn in Pisces, which Saturn just came out of retrograde on November 15th, things might be moving fast, or some certain things might be gelling, or you maybe have a better picture of what you want to create for your career. And this day could be one of those days when some of us hear good news in the career part of our lives, in our professional lives. Saturn represents authority figures and Venus represents money. So I'm really liking this day to ask for a raise or just own your capabilities and be very comfortable showing the world what you can do. The next aspect, though, keep in mind, of course, and I am not a huge fan of shadow phases, to be honest with you, when it comes to retrogrades. But keep in mind, Mercury will be in its shadow phase already, because Mercury goes retrograde on November 25th. It is the third retrograde of Mercury this year and the last one. And it will last until December 15th. From November 25th to December 15th, Mercury is going to be retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. Being completely honest with you, and I might be a little biased because I have 3 planets in Sagittarius, so I'm biased and I know that. I was born with Mercury retrograde, the only retrograde planet in my chart, so Mercury retrogrades don't really affect me. I use them a lot for my work, to redo, rethink, and I enjoy them. But Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, I do not like. I do not like for a few reasons. I'm biased, like I was telling you, but also because Mercury rules Gemini, which is the opposite sign of Sagittarius. So that already means that Mercury is uncomfortable in Sagittarius. Mercury wants the facts and the figures and the numbers and being very specific. And Sagittarius wants to think big. It doesn't want to worry about the little things. So this retrograde is going to be a little difficult. So brace yourself. And remember, we're talking about fire, mutable fire, Sagittarius. So Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius can be very impulsive. So take your time. Take your time during this period of time to be really careful with your communication, to look at everything really carefully, your documents, any mistakes, because that's what Sagittarius energy can do. It can be very good for rethinking a big picture, because remember that all Mercury retrogrades are for redoing, rethinking, revamping. But Sagittarius can't focus on the details. It's not its gift. So be very careful with your email communications, with all of this. Also, Mercury, I use the Egyptian terms. I work with Egyptian astrology and cosmology. In the Egyptian terms, Mercury is going to start this retrograde in a Saturn-ruled degree. So this means that there will be a lot of Saturnian things like work, authority, parents, serious things involved in this retrograde. What else not to do during a Mercury retrograde? Don't buy a car. No big ticket items. If you travel, that makes sense. It's the holiday season. Just give yourself a lot of time. Give yourself room. I travel during Mercury retrogrades all the time, and it's not that bad. I've had some snafus, but because I give myself time to get to the airport and all of that, I've been fine. Just keep it in mind. It's not that don't do anything, don't stop life. I don't subscribe to that, to be honest with you. So you've been warned, Mercury's gonna go retrograde, and it can be a little explosive because Sagittarius is a fire sign. So just be really mindful with that. On November 27th, we have the sun, which is newly in Sagittarius and bringing that like big picture, that exploratory and exciting energy to the table, forming a really good connection with Mars in Leo. This day is a really good day to get anything done that you might have in the back burner, that you really want to end before the end of the year arrives. And I'm gonna tell you why you want to get this done, because Mars is gonna go retrograde very soon. I'm not getting there yet. But what I'm saying is that November 27th is a great day to just give something that last push, that like, okay, I'm gonna make it. Use this day because it has all these fire energy, double fire, Sun and Mars in Leo. It's a very promising day to finish things that require a little bit more energy, a little bit of more creativity or exploration of the mind, and you can get it done before the retrograde of Mars. We are going to be heading close. We're going to be kind of closer to the dark moon phase. So a lot of us are going to be out of energy, but some of us could feel very, very excited with this, depending on our birth charts. Because then we have the dark moon phase, because the new moon, remember the dark moon phase is always 2 days before the new moon. And in this solar season, the new moon happens on November 30th. That's the new moon in Sagittarius. It happens at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. I like this new moon to say everything that I just said, to like give the last push, to commit to the inner quest. This is not the outer quest, right? So normally in a regular new moon in Sagittarius, I would say explore, get out there, travel, take a course, take a master class, learn something, or search for that like vibrancy of Sagittarius outside. But that is not the case this year, my friends. The quest is more inward. It's more, what about what's in here? Sagittarius energy is really exciting, and I have 3 planets in Sagittarius, so I know that energy really well. My mother is a stellium in Sagittarius, so trust me, I know that energy really well. Sagittarius is really good at like, oh, you know, something difficult is happening, so I'm just gonna go on a trip and forget about it. That's not the vibe right now. It's like commit to the inner quest. That's the vibe of this new moon in Sagittarius, because Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius. Mars is going retrograde soon for a long time. So we are in a process of deep transformation. The world is in a process of massive transformation. By now, Pluto is in Aquarius, so things are massively shifting. And so this new moon in Sagittarius is the perfect time to ask yourself, what do I truly want? What do I truly desire? What's my role in this new paradigm that it's starting to be built? What do I have energy for? What do I no longer have energy for? So commit to the inner quest. Who am I? Start from the bottom, like get into that inner excavation. That's what this new moon in Sagittarius is doing. It is forming a trine with Mars in Leo. So go within. It's the inner fire, like the inner fire. I like this new moon for that. It's a new beginning, of course, but this new beginning has to go with what's inside and not what is outside. On the same day, on November 30th, asteroid Pallas Athene, enters Capricorn, the sign of career. So as you can see, it's Sagittarius season, but we have a lot of career stuff going on still. And while things are going to be slowing down over the next 2-3 months due to the retrograde of Mars, Pallas Athene, what I'm seeing is like Pallas Athene is going to be in Capricorn until February 16th. Pallas Athene is the goddess of strategy, wisdom, that marries feminine and masculine energies. In Capricorn, this is a combination that can really help us go back to the drawing board with business strategies. Why? Because we're all switching, the world's switching. So we're adapting to it, like I just said, a new paradigm, the industries are changing, some of them are collapsing, some of them are starting to grow, starting to evolve. We have new industries. So Pallas Athene in Capricorn between November 30th and February 16th, it's the perfect time to hire that strategist or channel that inner strategist in you to see what's next. What's next for my business? I feel that energy deeply, and you can use it. On December 1st, we have Mercury retrograde forming a trine with Chiron in Aries. And as we know, Chiron in Aries is all about healing the masculine. That's a huge thing I have to talk about. I created a video just on Chiron. Please go check it out. But something from the past could come back right now, a conversation from the past, because Mercury brings things from the past, like your ex, an ex-friend, or just a story that repeats itself. That brings healing. There could be a moment where you feel like you're being hurt, like, oh, this is happening again. Seek healing. Seek a different outcome. That is how we heal. Instead of repeating the same pattern, or instead of repeating the same story, you can find healing right now, because the trine is an aspect of flow. And this is happening on December 1st. On December 2nd, we have Venus, which is still in Capricorn, forming a trine with Uranus in Taurus. So we're still thinking about this career stuff, but we have this opportunity to just come up with this brilliant idea. Something just strikes right. Like this is like an epiphany, like breakthrough when it comes to your career, when it comes to doing things differently for your career. It could also be involving money. Like you could have a financial breakthrough or a relationship breakthrough as well. You could suddenly just realize, like, I now know why that relationship needed to end. I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of relationship breakthroughs recently. You know, we are ending the South Node transit in Libra, so a lot of relationships have ended in the past year and a half, a lot of partnerships, a lot of commitments. So you could experience that. You could also want more freedom in your relationships, but it's easy to find around this time because the trine is an aspect of harmony. So as you can see, even though we have all this retrograde stuff, we do have Venus forming beautiful aspects with other planets. On December 4th, and we will be feeling this a few days before December 4th, we do have the Sun forming a square with Saturn. So this is an aspect of density. Saturn is no longer retrograde, it's direct, it means business in Pisces. This is a day that could bring a little bit of negative thinking, like you could be thinking like, something fell through, a project I was working on didn't totally gel, I'm not good enough, I didn't try enough, I'm gonna go into depression. Don't do that. That never works with Saturn. Saturn is that authority figure that oversees. Or it represents the cosmic boss, or this cold energy. It's like if somebody, it's like if somebody just all of a sudden turned the lights off on you and like, rah. None of the negative reactions will work right now. You have to stay positive. You have to work hard. You have to tell Saturn you mean business. It's not about pushing things, obviously, because like you're not going to win. This is when authority figures are like watching over your work and all of that stuff. So do your best and just tell yourself, I'm doing the best I can, and I will continue to do the best I can. Don't be lonely. A lot of the times when Saturn's activated in the sky, we just feel a little lonely, a little sad. Don't do that. Seek connection. Text a friend, call a friend, seek companionship if you feel lonely around this time. It's normal. You're not alone. We're all feeling this. Also on December 4th, Venus in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So we're feeling dreamy. If you feel like certain things aren't working, right? Like Mars is about to go retrograde, things are intense. Get lost in a movie, get lost in a book, turn off the outside noise and allow yourself to dream. You see, we're strategizing with Pallas in Capricorn. So strategize, turn off the negativity and get lost in your own world today. Get creative, take a bath, and think about your dreams, your hopes and dreams. On December 5th, we could truly have another epiphany. Some email, some text, some ad, whatever we see, whatever comes into our orbit could bring a sign. It could bring that piece of information, because that is the Mercury Cassimi. That is the half point in the retrograde, right? In the Mercury retrograde journey, that the Mercury aligns with the sun. Something is getting illuminated. This is part of your Mercury retrograde journey. Whatever you're redoing, whatever you're rethinking or revamping, can now bring that. Oh, so it's similar to the Venus Uranus on December 2nd. So as you can see, they're pretty close to each other. So search for that enlightenment. Search for that epiphany. On December 6th, we officially start the retrograde of Mars. I said that my tone is inspirational, but I'm also very realistic. I don't like the retrogrades of Mars. I'm a Scorpio sun, and Mars is a powerful force in my chart. The retrogrades of Mars are difficult for a few reasons. And I'm about to release a video about Mars retrograde, so I don't want to go too deep into it. Subscribe to my channel so you get alerted when I upload that. I already wrote a blog about it. I'm going to make a video. But the retrogrades of Mars are difficult because all the masculine things are getting revised, like our sex drive, our ambition, our ability to show up for our goals. That fire that gets you out of bed and whoa, ready to rock in the morning, it's taking a break. So brace yourself. We are going to feel tired. We're going to feel, sometimes, not always, but especially I've noticed that the beginning of the retrogrades of Mars are difficult because we're getting used to that energy. You might start feeling from now all the way to February 23rd, like unmotivated. You might notice you don't get excited about the same things or people. Most of us are going to be having less connection with our partners, with our boyfriends, girlfriends, crush, date, all of that. It's normal. You're not alone. And I know that this is a long transit, but this long transit, what it seeks to do is helping you find out what truly lights your spark. The old they all like movies, don't work anymore. Especially because we're heading into a new paradigm with Pluto in Aquarius. And 2025 is such a groundbreaking year that you need this time. And the good news is this retrograde of Mars is happening in the winter. So the sky is already dark earlier. Mercury is already helping with this inner work. So stay tuned. But during Mars retrograde periods, don't start a new relationship. Don't start a new business venture. Don't start a new workout routine. It's not gonna work. Stick to the same workout routine and ask yourself, why do I want? What lights my fire? Don't take a relationship to the next level. And if you are romantically involved with someone, I suggest give them space. It's not you, it's everybody. It's not you, it's not them, it's all of us. So that is one of the most important dates of Sagittarius season, December 6th. Mars is going to be really active, kind of like super intense in the sky around that time. So keep a low profile. People are going to be, when Mars goes retrograde, anger from the past comes up to the surface to be dealt with. On December 6th, Venus enters Aquarius, which is the opposite sign of Leo. And so relationships are going to start getting a little cold. Like you're going to notice the vibrancy within a bond, a romantic bond, or even friendships are going to take a colder tone. And not because Aquarius is cold, but Aquarius is detached. Venus is going to stay in Aquarius for about 3 weeks. It's detached. It's mentally stimulating. So Venus is more like conversational, intellectual, and it's seeking freedom. Aquarius, to me, is ruled by Uranus. It's ruled by Saturn, but it's ruled by Uranus too. So it wants these like, love me, but from afar. So, and the same day, we have Mercury squaring Saturn. So you see, we have a lot of Saturn energy this month as well, obviously, because Saturn's in Pisces. So driving with the brakes on. That is one of the energies. We're not only rethinking and revamping something specific, because it's going to be something different for everybody due to the retrograde of Mercury. We're also reviewing our passions during the retrograde of Mars, but then we're also trying to go with the brakes on. So you see, this is a month to chill. This is a solar season to chill. And the signs that are going to feel this Sagittarius season the most is obviously Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. The retrograde of Mars is going to affect everybody. Everybody. And that it switches because Mars is going to go retrograde in 2 different signs. But I'm going to talk about that in my Mars retrograde video. I want to keep going with this. So on December 6th, when like Mercury is squaring Saturn, it's like, if you're a writer like me, if you're a creative, you're like having problems thinking the solution, if you keep thinking, keep working it through, keep going. There's no such a thing as writer's block. You just keep writing, keep creating as much as you can, as best as you can, without that negative thinking taking over you, or at least allowing, right? Doing your best. December 7th, Venus in Aquarius conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Wow. This is massive. Why? Because Pluto has been toggling between Capricorn and Aquarius since the summer of 2023. I created a video about Pluto in Aquarius. It has over 18K views, so thank you for that. Check it out. I spent a lot of time creating that video actually, so I'm really glad that people are liking it. This is when we start seeing how Pluto in Aquarius is really gonna pan out. Pluto entered Aquarius for good on November 19th, but when the natal planets start activating it, natal planets, I mean Venus, Mars, and Mercury. So Venus is the first one, because Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius. So we're gonna start to see what's going on. Venus rules relationships, money, pleasure. So expect all of those things to show you how they're gonna start transforming over the next 20 years. You're gonna start getting like nuggets, little or big nuggets of information about how your relationships are changing, about how the way you make money is changing, about your desires changing. Mars is retrograde. So expect to just a little bit of intensity right now. Things will be intense, but you can get to the surface of things. You can truly get to the heart of the matter. Venus conjunct Pluto. This is about coming back to your power in relationships, coming back to your power. Take your financial power back. Talking about pleasure, what truly brings you pleasure. Pluto doesn't do things halfway. We've only seen a little bit of Pluto. It was in Aquarius like a few months here and there, but now that Pluto is in Aquarius, it's like we're starting to see. Nobody alive has experienced that, by the way. We've been speculating and predicting and thinking what is it going to be like, but electric love, those are some of the words that I think. And it's also very mental. So try to avoid to be so in your head with Mercury retrograde and all these Aquarian activations and the Saturn stuff. You can be too in your head right now. Connect to your body, connect to your inner fire. On December 8th, we have, and I think I want to make a YouTube video about this too. On December 8th, we have the North Node of the Moon starting. It's not yet conjunct, but it's starting to conjunct Neptune. So starting now and over the next few months, Neptune energy strong. Neptune is at the karmic degree of Pisces. Right now, also, while you're transforming in such a major ways, you got to start thinking, like always, check yourself. What's illusion and what's real? What's a dream and what's an illusion? Am I telling myself the story? I think that the highest vibration of Neptune, and some might disagree with this, but it's spiritual work. And we need spiritual work, even if you're already, or if you already consider yourself a spiritual person. This deepens. It is the best thing that you can do for yourself and the world to deepen your spiritual practice starting now, starting December 8th. That the North Node of the Moon is one of the ones that creates eclipses. And this is it's pretty rare. I mean, I don't even know when was the last time it happened, but Neptunian energy of fantasy, illusion, magic, art, beauty, and all of that is starting to get magnified, and it will continue to get magnified over the next month. So I leave you with that. Hopefully I'll have time to make a video about that, because I think it's really important to know. It can be like the worst of the worst, getting caught up in conspiracy theories of the best, create and make art and deepen your spiritual practice, meditate more. And in my opinion, these are challenging times for a lot of us. So if you're not meditating every day already, things are going to be difficult. We need that space. We need that personal space to ground. On December 9th, so this is like one of the best things in the entire Sagittarius season, we do have a grand fire trine. between the North Node, which is still in Aries, Mercury retrograde, and Mars retrograde. And this grand fire trine, the reason why it is called grand fire trine is because it unites the fire signs. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And this is going to be active all the way to December 15th. So stuff from the past, a lot of stuff from the past is coming back. Past opportunities, past ideas that you thought couldn't work, grab steam during this fire trine. This is an initiation, but it feels like something that was already set in motion. It's an initiation. It's kind of like a return. An idea, an example that comes to mind right now is maybe you had an idea way back and the world wasn't ready for it. You were too ahead of your time. I've always felt that, by the way. Like the world wasn't ready for it and it got discarded. Well, that idea could be coming back right now, and it could be exactly what you need to snap you out of this sleepiness. Pay attention to what happens now. It also feels destined, right? Like whatever's coming back, whether it's like a person, an idea, a situation between December 9th, December 15th, give and take a few days, feels destined. So pay attention to who comes around, what comes around, why. We're revisiting something. That is my favorite, I think my absolute favorite part of this entire season, the Grand Fire Trine. It's going to help a lot with the retrogrades. It's going to help a lot with energy, even though Mars and Mercury are retrograde. So pay attention to that. On December 10th, the Sun in Sagittarius trines Chiron in Aries. So there's a healing moment again. You see, we had first Mercury trining Chiron on December 1st, but now we have the Sun doing the same on December 10th. So there is healing happening. Even if it feels like it's below the surface, it is happening. Trust it. Break a pattern. Retrogrades are perfect for breaking a pattern. You can get insight into like, why does this story keep repeating over and over and over again? If a story keeps repeating over and over again, it's not the story, it's us. So I invite you to think about that during that time. December 12th, Venus in Aquarius opposes Mars in Leo. Relationship dramas could be happening right now. Try to keep it less than a drama and approach your relationship situations with compassion, with appreciation, and with love. Venus and Mars are the cosmic lovers. That's what I call them, because they were lovers in mythology. Mars is retrograde. It's revisiting the past. It's helping us realize that we no longer feel turned on by the same things. We no longer feel excited about the old classic date night or people. And it might not even be that you're not attracted to somebody. You alone are transforming. So this could be a time where you feel like, oh my God, is it me? No. It's everybody. So approach this clash. A clash between Venus and Mars is like the cosmic lovers are clashing. They're not loving so much. They're having trouble. They are, and as above, so below. So we could also be experiencing the same right now, but approach things with compassion. Why? Because Mars retrograde in Leo can be explosive. I have Mars in Leo. Luckily, it's far away from this, but I'm bracing myself to tell my partner, hey, we need to change this from a place of compassion. And don't look for the result. Don't look for the end result right away. It's not going to come right away. This is a long process. Remember, Mars is going to be retrograde all the way till late February. So this is just like, I'm living this here because this is how I feel, but I don't need to resolve it yet. We have a full moon. We have the season's full moon arriving on December 15th around that same time. It's happening in Gemini, obviously, because it's Sagittarius season. So the moon always opposes the sun. We are realizing a lot of the things. We're realizing a lot of the things we didn't know. Things are getting illuminated. Things are getting, they're open. They're out in the open now in this deep process of retrograde energy. And this full moon is forming a mutable T-square. What does that mean? That you're going to have to shift. There will be no other way to keep going in whatever it is, right? Like a project, a relationship, a situation, or that inner quest that you're in. You're going to have to shift. You're not going to be able to do things a certain way. Mutable T-square, it's when 3 planets are clashing. So I suggest being open to that change, being open. There's no other way. And the sky delivers the perfect mutability, the perfect adaptability that you need right now. On that same day, Mercury goes direct. Mercury goes direct on that day of the full moon. So you see things are starting to shift. Give and take a few days, right? Like for me, like I was telling you, I don't use the shadow periods, but what I use is that Mercury moving at a regular speed once again. For me, it's about speed. And Mercury begins moving at its regular speed on December 21st, which is when Capricorn season begins. And then on December 18th, we have the sun squaring Neptune. This only happens twice in a year. This is a bi-yearly aspect, so it packs a punch. When the sun squares Neptune, it's really important to take care of our immune system, because we can feel like our immune system is hurting a little bit. It's really important to take care of yourself. Drink a lot of tea. Some of us, it might be flu season in certain parts, so I think some of us are going to be in bed, kind of taking care of ourselves. It's really important that you attune to your creativity, your sense of spirituality during this time. It's also crucial that you know that with all of this movement, all of this illumination, we're in that full moon, Mercury going retrograde, Mars being retrograde, a lot of things are not going to be as they seem to be. Definitely not. Take care of your eyes. What you put your eyes on, if you're spending too much time on the screen, that will be deteriorating your immune system. Neptune rules screens, movies, these social media, this mass information. Take time for yourself around this time. And the last aspect, and this is why I said that even though Sagittarius season truly ends when the sun enters Capricorn on the 21st, winter solstice, but the last aspect that I considered important happens on December 19th, and that is a Venus in Aquarius trine with Jupiter in Gemini. This I really like. That's one of my favorite aspects. Besides of the grand fire trine that I was talking about, this is my favorite aspect. Why? Because we love the benefics Benefic means a benefactor or somebody that's trying to help you. And Venus and Jupiter are that. We have the two benefics helping you, helping us. Jupiter is retrograde still, but Venus is not. And Venus is in Aquarius. It's thinking about the future. It's mental. It's like, okay, all of this is shifting. All of this is changing in massive ways. We're starting a new paradigm. Okay, let me take quantum leaps into the future. Venus in Capricorn, which was the sign that Venus was in before entering Aquarius on December 6th, wants the like traditional view in relationships, love and pleasure and all of that. But Venus in Aquarius doesn't hold back. Venus in Aquarius helps us understand that it's time for new things in every single part of our lives. And tell me if that resonates with you, because it resonates with me. I'm doing everything differently. And it's difficult for me because I have a lot of fixed in my chart. So this is a good day, December 19th. Mercury is direct. It's after the full moon fever. And so this would be a great day to start thinking about your future. Not acting on it. It's more about dreaming. Also with Neptune being so active, it's about dreaming. It's like, if I were gonna make a vision board about my life in the next year, 5, 10, whatever you want, as long as you want. If I were gonna make a vision board about my life, what would this look like? So anyway, loves, I leave you with this. This, as you can see, this season's gonna be like, wow, groundbreaking. It's a really good opportunity to look within and see, ask yourself about that inner quest. What am I here to do? What is my purpose? How is my purpose getting updated with Pluto being in Aquarius? If you want to go deeper into your astrology, into your birth chart, into what 2025 means for you on your soul path, what does your soul truly want? What makes you so unique and you want help? I'm here to support you. My soul path reading in particular that mixes astrology and Akashic records has been really successful. People find it really telling, and it is a reaffirmation of many things that they've thought but that weren't so sure about. So if you feel called to do that, I invite you to book a reading with me. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave me an emoji here on YouTube. Subscribe to my newsletter. And the more you support my work, the more videos I can create for you, because that is what I am. That's my soul path, to be a creator. And I am actually truly trying to work on it. So I send you a big love. As a friendly reminder, I'm also posting content on Instagram. You can find the link, and I'm also on TikTok now. So I hope to see you again, and I'm sending you big, big, big love for Sagittarius season. Bye-bye.